Has Spelljammer been canceled? GameMasters here, and Wizards of the Coast has been taking a lot of heat as of late for various reasons because of Spelljammer. But has it been canceled? Not in the terms that they have ceased production of it. Obviously, it's out. It's currently for sale. I'm referring more to us, the populace of players. Have we, in effect, canceled Spelljammer? Have we stopped giving it support? So we all know about the Hadozee and how its description was worded, and that swept like wildfire through the D&D community until Wizards acknowledged it and issued a statement and apology and changed the overall description. And that could have been enough to see Spelljammer canceled, but then we have the rules set, seeming to be completely void of in-depth ship-to-ship combat, issues with movement speeds, and ranged weapon issues. Then we have observations of the past edition, the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons version of Spelljammer, in which we had a lot of source material to pull from, something like 14 or so supplements. But so far there are only 3 books that came in the 5e box set, as well as that free adventure called Spelljammer Academy. But keep in mind that it took about 3 years for the AD&D Spelljammer box set to release to the last AD&D Spelljammer supplement. Our 5e version has been out for a little over just a month. So the question remains, have we canceled Spelljammer? Wizards is really promoting and encouraging DMs to make each of the 5e settings their own. They are providing with us the bones, and I'll admit there are many times I simply don't want to put in the work. I want to be able to open to the book and flip to the information I need instead of making it up for myself. I can certainly see a viable complaint there. However, if I take a snapshot of my entire history of playing, I'd say that the good majority of my sessions are me taking the full body of material and ripping the flesh off of it until I was only left with the bones, and then I'd add my own meat and seasoning back in. Real quick, if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up. Those likes really help me spread it to more eyes, and I thank you for that. So I see it plainly. There is a major market out there for content creators, and a moment ago I mentioned that over the course of 3 years we saw a total of about 14 books for Spelljammer released for the AD&D version. At the time I recorded this video, we've seen over 120 forms of material released on DMsGuild specifically for Spelljammer. Several of those released just today, and that number is only going to continue to grow. This is my take. I don't see Spelljammer as having been canceled. I instead see Wizards giving us a vast amount of space, pun intended, to run with and make Spelljammer our own, to grow it into whatever we want it to be. Just looking at the number of supplemental material that we can find for it, being released almost on a daily basis, I don't see how anyone can claim cancellation. Can you argue that the core books don't provide all the information you need? Oh, there's certainly merit in that. Having a detailed ship-to-ship combat rules while cruising through wild space would most certainly be helpful. Having a more precise movement rules and ranged weapon statistics? Likewise, that would be helpful information, but is that enough to dismiss the rest of the material that is provided? Ultimately, that's up to you to choose. I find it easy for me to make adjustments on the fly. Again, pun intended. So the absence of concrete rules as written doesn't really faze me. When my group does encounter such a hole, we'll figure out what makes the most sense and move forward with the adventure. I've been a fan of Spelljammer since it came out way back when, and so I fully admit that my view may be more on the I like the setting side of things. Couple that with my tendency to slap my own coverings onto the skeleton, give it my own seasoning. That's a recipe I can work with. What are your thoughts on Spelljammer? What wild and crazy adventures have you and your party gotten into so far? I think I've seen a very dark horror-based campaign take place in wild space. I've seen a bizarre ice cream planet pop into existence, and I've seen a strange blend of Space Hulk and Spelljammer space combat take place. Let me know in the comments below of your crazy adventures in wild space, and until next our paths cross, may your Spelljammer adventure be out of this world.